What up, everybody? This is Star with Star Delta 9 coming at you with a little bit of a recipe for you guys. I keep getting asked if I could share a recipe that I use as a herbal healing lotion. So I actually went into my recipe book and I found one that I really like. And Mr. is out of it, and as you guys know, he's had a rash. This works really well on eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, or just in the winter months when you have that poo-poo skin, you know? So I call this an herbal lotion, and what I do is, you can do it two ways. Let me set these aside. I did two separate types of infusion. One was a room air infusion with the little one, and the other one was a steeped, like a steeped tea infusion. This sits for 24 hours with a lid or cellophane around it with your herbs in it, and I just came by and flipped it up and down every 6-7 hours, and after 24 I used it. This one I steeped on the stove like I would if I was making tea. Did the same thing, strained it and put it in here. You can store these in the refrigerator. How you make them is you use calendula, marshmallow root, comfrey root, and I ground my comfrey root up in my coffee grinder, and chamomile. You're going to take 1/2 of a teaspoon of each, and I put it in a little muslin bag like this, tied it up, placed it in the jar all the way, and put the lid on it. Let that one sit for 24 hours. This one, I did the same thing in another muslin bag, but on the stove. Okay, so there's two ways you can make the infusion. Once your infusion is made, the amount of water you need for your infusion is 100 milliliters of water per 1/2 teaspoon of the 4 herbs I mentioned. Once you have your herbal infusion, you will measure out 2 different containers. One will be your oil phase and one will be your water phase. Now, we used 100 milliliters to make the infusion. I measured out 77 grams for the recipe. So let me give you the recipe. It's 77 grams of infused water, and in the infused water you add 1 teaspoon of colloidal oats and 3 grams of vegetable glycerine. That is your water part. Your oil part, you can use mango butter, cocoa butter, or shea butter, unrefined. Unrefined. I used mango butter. I used a complete emulsifying wax and 10 grams of my CBD isolate oil. So now, if you don't have this isolate oil and you don't make this, you can get hemp oil on Amazon for I think like $8.99, and you can use the hemp oil. This is my CBD oil. So in your oil measuring cup, you will need 7 grams of your emulsifying wax. Complete emulsifying wax, by the way. You can use NF if you'd like. 8 grams of the shea butter. I used 8 grams of mango and 10 grams of my CBD oil. Now I'm going to pop these on the stove and let them heat and hold for 20 minutes. I'll be back. Okay guys, just a little clarification. I was making some lotion prior to this recipe, which you do heat and hold for 20 minutes. In this instance, when you're using botanical herbs, you probably are not going to heat and hold for 20 minutes because you don't want to break the polysaccharides in the herbals, and at the same time you don't want to degrade any of the herbs. So what I'm doing now is just melting the oils until it's completely melted and the mango butter. And then I will take you on to the next step. So do not heat and hold. Simply melt your oils with both in about a 2-inch pan of water on a medium heat. And this keeps them at the same temperature. And I'll show you what to do when it's done. So I'll bring you back. Okay guys, as you can see, my oils are completely melted. And my water portion was in the same water bath, so they are at the same temperature. We're going to add our water to our oils. You want to remember to use a preservative because this does have biotinicals in it. And so you don't want to make really more than 100 gram, 200 gram batch. You do want to use it up relatively quickly. Because of the biotinicals, it can go rancid quickly. So make sure you use your preservative, a preservative of your choice, and make sure you use the recommended usage rate. So now I'm going to place my stick blender in here and just give it some really quick bursts. I'm going to do it really lightly on one because otherwise the liquid will come up above my measuring cup. See? Okay, it's really, really warm. So I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. But as you can see, it's nice and white. It's already looking like lotion. I'm going to let this sit about 10 minutes, let it cool some, and we'll come back and we'll blend. Okay guys, it's been about 10 minutes and it's thickened up a little bit, so it's a little bit cooler. Still not cool enough to add any essential oil, fragrance oil, or preservative. You want to have it below a temperature of 100 to add those items. We're going to give it a couple quick bursts again. Just going to turn it up a little now. Sticking it up. Now, as you can see, the lotion is thickening up. I'm going to let this cool for, another 10 minutes, and I'm going to move my towel this time. Grab my preservative and get that prepared, and I'll bring you back. Okay, guys, we're back. As you can see, the lotion has thickened up very nicely, and I'm going to check the temp. We're at 99, so as long as we're below 100, we can add our preservative and we can add our essential oil. I'm adding lavender, and I'm only adding a very small amount. You can leave it unscented if you want. Make sure you look up the recommended usage rate for your essential oil and your fragrance oil. I only put about 9 drops. Stir that. This will continue to thicken up. Now I have a 1 gram of preservative in here. I weighed out my solution, my lotion, and according to my usage rate, I needed to use 1 gram. So I'm going to put a little lotion in here so I get all of the preservative out. So remember, this has botanicals in it, and it will go bad on you. That's why I don't suggest making any more than 100 grams, maybe a 200 gram batch. And then I'm going to pop it in his container. He uses this like butter. And I just tap it on my hand. This will make a good 100 gram batch, which is approximately, well, we can weigh it. I think it comes out to a little over 6 ounces. Maybe 4 ounces, I'm sorry. And I just make it up as he needs it. Some people don't like herb as far as herbal smells, so they added a fragrance oil or an essential oil to kind of alleviate some of that. But the comfrey root and the marshmallow root and all the other herbs that we infused at the beginning of the video is what helps heal the skin. So there you have homemade herbal healing lotion. Thanks for watching.